Well then, this is a live-action American remake of an anime made in Japan. What could possibly go wrong? Hello everyone! And today, as a part of Halloween month, we're taking a look at one of the live-action remakes made by Netflix of a very popular anime, Death Note. Okay, I know a lot of people have talked about this movie in the past, but hey, I'm going to give my own 2 cents on this movie and what I think of it. Now, in case you don't know, this movie is based off of a popular anime, which was based off of a manga about Death Note, which is about Light Yagami, who is this teenager who is basically wants to become like a god of a new world, and then he stumbles across this Death Note, and with the help of the Shinigami or Death God Ryuk that gives him the notebook, he's basically all like, okay, I can become a god, and with the help of a fellow Death Note carrier named Misa, they go on a spree to rid the world of all evil until a detective known as Light enters, named L enters the game, and they're basically in a chess game or cat and mouse game. So yeah. Now, how does the live action remake handle this? Now, to be fair, there will be some moments where I will compare this to the anime, and some moments where I'm going to be like, okay, this is its own interpretation. I'll see how it works on its own. So then, with that being said, what's the plot of this remake? Well, it takes place in Seattle, and it's about the high school student known as Light Turner, who is a bullied child who is basically a genius, and he stumbles across the Death Note, and he goes on a spree of murder to get rid of criminals. Like, he starts off by killing the bully who punches him named Kenny, and I'm tempted to use the "Oh my God, they killed Kenny from South Park" clip, but I'm worried I might get copyrighted, so I won't do that. And then he also goes on to kill his mother's murderer, and then a person known as Mia, yes, they changed Misa to Mia, um, helps them. They become Kira, and basically a person, the death god Ryuk gives him the notebook, but unfortunately, unlike the anime, they don't go into why. They just like, oh, I just chose you for some reason. They don't understand why. And then, um, like in the anime, L comes into the scene to try and catch them. So, is this good or is it bad? Well, let's talk about the positives before the negatives. First off, the movie is shot well. I'll fully admit there are a lot of good shots in the movie, like stuff with the Ryuk in a covered with police car. Like there's police cars in the back of Ryuk in one scene. It just looks really good to me. The whole red and blue. It looks like neon lights, and also the part that they did show in the trailer of L going across a red hallway. Some shots like that are really good. But yeah. Also, in terms of the acting, I'll fully admit, Shea Wiggums is good as James Turner. Most of the stuff with between James and Light is good in my opinion. They go into more exploration of them than they did in the anime. Which yes, they did have plenty of moments of the anime, but they show in this movie they go much deeper than that. And yeah, and I did feel sorry for James when he found out that Light was Kira, because he was all like, "Oh, my son would never be Kira, would never in a million years." And then of course there's also the Keith Stanfield. Even though yes, he does not look like L from the anime, I will fully admit there are scenes where I feel like, okay, this is L. Like how he does the whole squatting in chairs, his obsession with candy, stuff like that. And also the star of the movie, in my opinion, Willem Dafoe as Rick. I know, plenty of people have gone to say, oh, Willem Dafoe is the best part of the movie, but I would just like to say he is the best part of this movie. He is, his voice sounds exactly like Ryuk. Heck, Willem Dafoe even stated before making the movie that like he didn't watch the anime. They showed him a picture of Ryuk, and he was all like, "Okay, I have a voice in my head," and the voice he chose for Ryuk sounds near perfect to how Ryuk sounded in the anime. there were some moments where I was like, okay, is this the voice actor from the show? And the person who does the body, like the whole like body for Ryuk is really well done. They give him the impression of a haunting demon, especially how they barely show Ryuk in the shadows. No, they mostly show Ryuk in the shadows a lot of time. And yeah, like I said earlier, it does give off the impression of a haunting demon, which I really liked. But other than that, the rest of the movie isn't very good. For example, a lot of the stuff in this movie doesn't make a lick of sense. Like, for example, why on earth does Light pick the name Kira as his code name? Now, in the anime, it was the Japanese public who gave Light the name of Kira because of the English word killer. And while yes, Kira does translate towards light in some countries, at the very least, they're in Japan, where I'm pretty sure a name like Light is very common. Sort of like how in America, a name like Chris is very common. But here, they're in Seattle. I'm pretty sure Light is a very rare name in Seattle. Okay? And heck, even if we don't take the anime into consideration, it still makes no sense. Like I said earlier, like you're in Seattle. I'm pretty sure this would be a very rare name for someone in Seattle. Also, there's another scene that really bothers me. The scene where L goes onto the press conference. Now he had like here's the thing. L says in the movie, "Oh yeah, I have complete proof that that Kira is in Seattle." So he goes on a press conference, calls Kira um crazy, and that proves his theory? No, it doesn't. Seriously. I mean, in the anime, L had a corpse because he had an inmate who was scheduled to go be punished to death to pretend to be L, and Light took the bait. Now, I'll fully admit this does come off as sort of like a plot hole because um, L doesn't know who Kira was at the time. So overall, Kira could have just left Japan and gone on to another country. But still. Now, yeah, this really makes no sense in the movie. Like, he has no body, nothing happens, and that proves his theory? I'll fully admit there is a later scene like this where James goes on the press conference, and that was a good scene. But really, L, you're supposed to be a detective, the smartest one ever. And also, there's a scene of what they do with the whole L and Light in the coffee shop. Okay, this scene is so bad. It's so stupid. Like, for example, they're shouting about, oh, you're Kira, Light. No, I'm not Kira. And there's people there. Why on earth aren't anyone alarmed that, wait, Kira? I need to get out of here before I get killed. Like, seriously. And also, I do like how they try to go for an an Icarus reference. But here's the thing: as soon as L says, "You're the one who flew too close to the sun. I'm here to make sure you burn." What does Light say? He says, he says in this tone of voice, "Well, if that's how it has to be, yeah, L, call the cops and arrest Light. That is basically almost guaranteed proof that he might be Kira. You're supposed to be smart, right? You're supposed to be like Sherlock Holmes, right? Just checking." And then, of course, there's some really stupid stuff in this movie. Like, for example, Light decides to take this all powerful notebook and read it during the middle of gym class where anyone, and I repeat, anyone, could just walk up and say, "Death Note? What is that?" Like, seriously, did you think this through or not? Oh, God. And also, the movie does have a problem with pacing. Just, oh god, the pacing of this movie isn't very good a lot of the time. It feels too rushed. It feels like they're trying to get to the end credits. Seriously. And that's not a good thing. They feel like they're trying to like rush everything in this movie. And heck, there are also some scenes that don't really make much sense. Like, for example, the Watari thing. Now, I'll fully admit, Light using Watari to get to L is actually a good idea. But it's the way the plan was executed that makes absolutely no sense. So Ryuk said, you can only get rid of one name from the notebook. Okay, fair enough. But in the anime, they did say that you can remove any name at any time and burn any person's name at any time, but still, I feel like they decided to just make it one to up the stakes. But here's the thing. If you can only remove one page and burn only one page from the notebook, what would happen if you wrote that name on another page that was filled with names? Would that mean when it came to burning the page, they would have to select what name to get rid of, like a video game menu system? Because they do that with Watari. He writes Watari's name on a page filled with other names. So, like I said earlier, does he have to select Watari's name like a video game menu? This makes no sense. And then, of course, there's how Watari is super obsessed with getting L's real name, but when it comes to it, he's all like, but when the cops show up, basically, they ran out of time to go, and the cops are trying to kill Watari because they ran out of time. He just stops before he says L's name and says, "I am Watari," and boom, he just doesn't care, even though he is obsessed with finding L's name. And also, they say that you can't defy physics. You have to make sure everything is grounded in reality. Okay, by that logic, why the heck does the paper suddenly fall into, like, basically they control a piece of paper to make sure it falls into, fire? That makes no sense. And also, wouldn't there have to be a fire out there? Like, seriously, they just had to make sure everything is physically possible. Did they know there would be, like, a box filled with fire or something? I don't know. And also, they said that basically for something to work, like, how he has this person to pretend to be Kira, but the guy didn't know what the Death Note was. So, yeah, going back to my earlier point. And also, this is probably my last problem with the movie I just want to get out of the way. Some stuff like how they do some certain characters isn't very good in a lot of moments. And also, another point I want to critique is this. Now, in the movie, James Turner said to make sure that light to get L far away from light to make sure that L isn't even in a like 50 feet of light. Okay, fair enough. But why the heck are the people wearing riot gear when they go to the carnival? Like, they already got L, so why do they need to get riot gear on for light? They don't think light is a threat. This makes no sense. And also, why does the cop bring L, the person they were instructed to keep as far away as possible from light, to the carnival? Why would you do this? Oh god. And also, Light, even if Light wasn't lying about him being like wanting to go with Mia, even if Light wasn't lying about that, then one of them would still die because both of them was in the notebook. In fact, Light could have just written. Sorry about that edit there, guys, but still, Light, you could have just removed your name, and wrote in Mia's name, and boom, problem solved. Now that was the live-action Death Note movie, and it's not as bad as most people are saying it is. It's not good, but it's not as bad as, say, stuff like the live-action Full Metal Alchemist remake or the live-action Avatar Last Airbender movie. It's not as bad as those movies. I would rather watch this movie than any of those two. But seriously, I find it weird that Netflix has so far done a live-action Death Note movie and a live-action Full Metal Alchemist movie, since my top 3 favorite animes are Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Code Geass, and Death Note. They've done 2/3, so I'm worried what they're going to do if they do a live-action Code Geass movie. Please don't make a live-action Code Geass movie. Please, Netflix. But so that was the movie, and yeah, overall, I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 10. It's not horrible, but it's not definitely what I consider to be good. So, there we go. See you all later, and bye.